welcome you all to my hometown here, my new hometown of Jefferson City, if you're not from the capital city, and welcome you to your capital city, because I think everybody here, except some of our presenters, are from Missouri. So, I do own a company here in Jefferson City called the Rocket Group. We're a full-service marketing firm, and there's no cats in the room, are there? No cats? I can use the laser pointer? All right. My Twitter handle there for our tweeting crowd is @RocketGroup. I appreciate your follows and mentions and such. What we're all talking about today is social media marketing, social media communications. And obviously this stuff is so easy that over here at the Jefferson City Barnes & Noble, we have an entire shelf dedicated to the dummy guides to social media marketing. Look how thick this book is. That's crazy. And up here is the Twitter one. It was even thicker. There's so much. I'll tell you something. You can't learn this stuff from a book. You can only learn from doing and experiencing. This stuff is out of date. This web marketing stuff is out of date. This Pinterest book, great new thing, great new tool. Who's on Pinterest? Good for you. That book's out of date. Don't put it on your page. This stuff changes too fast. So you, being here today, you're on the cutting edge. You're getting some stuff that's very, very recent. We've got some slides in this presentation that are, well, they're not newborns, but they're still, I don't know if they're home from the hospital yet. So key point, while we go through this, we're going to have some fun while we're learning and sharing. Questions are welcome. I cannot barely see you because of the bright lights in the big city, so shout out. Feel free to shout out. Don't be shy. Quick background on me. Again, Gus Wagner. I've pretty much done it all. I was a chief of staff down the street in the Missouri State Senate for more than 7 years. I served 6 years as state chairman of the Missouri Young Republicans. I've been involved in political, civic, and charitable efforts pretty much my entire adult life. From being the lead ditch digger, or yard sign putter outer during the campaigns, to the guy writing the checks. So I've been in your shoes. And I've also owned my business for almost 12 years now. I've been in business and been in the business world for more than 20. Good Lord, I'm old. So anyway, I've done it. I've been in your shoes, and I can still learn things from you, and I hope to share a few things that are important to you. Call to action. For everyone here who's tweeting, who's got their phone open, you're not going to hurt my feelings. First off, I can't see you, really. So if your head's down, and you're on your phone or your laptop, and you're sharing what we're saying here, whether it's myself or the next presentation stuff, feel free to tweet away, Put that social IRL hashtag in there. Put the hashtag JCMO in there, because Michelle gets a nickel every time somebody does. She works for the city, so I'm going to pick on her a little bit. Or just throw a mid-mo in there if you want to go regional. So anyway, again, I'm @Rocket Group on Twitter. And by the way, I ruined it. Thanks, Heather, for letting me use the roof of your building to take this picture. This is my dog, Taffy. I'm sorry, our dog. My wife just walked in. Our dog, Taffy, she helped me write this presentation. She gets credit for the good stuff. The rest of it was for me. Why are we here today as far as us, the presenters? Myself and Eric and Ben and Jess and everybody else. Why are we here today? Well, this is why I'm here today, and I think everybody believes this. I'm good at this. Hashtag tweeting, hashtag love Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben being Spider-Man's uncle. We have a responsibility to be here. I'm not here to gain business. I'm not here to do business-oriented things, put more money in my pocket. I'm here because I believe that social media platforms are the way that modern communication is happening. You send out your press releases, you fax out your press releases and hope you get a newspaper picked up. Well, that's great. You can show that newspaper, hold it up like Harry Truman if you want to. Get your picture taken care of. Who's reading that? Gary's not here, is he? Okay. Anyway, we have a responsibility as social media professionals, enthusiasts, and influencers to share the skills that we have acquired to help you, whether you're a nonprofit, a business, a government, whatever, to get a better grasp and better use of these tools to spread your message and share your good news, tell your story, put your kitten pictures out there. Because that's where the crowds are, that's where people are engaged, and that's where they're going to learn more about your efforts. So it's really a responsibility, I think, that we have. So the title of our program is called AstroNet Turf Roots. There's another hashtag if you're tweeting. What the heck does that mean? AstroNet Turf Roots is from and I obscured some of the vision here so I can tell the story, some of the writing here. In the political world, when we're doing the political campaigns, or in the government world, when we're driving reaction, some of the associations that are here probably are going to feel the pain of the story I'm about to tell, but when you are going to stage a rally, say, at the Capitol steps, well, you would need 200 people to show up to the Capitol rally. First off, there's like 200 parking spots over there for everybody, so you need to meet out at the mall to get on a bus to come over here to the Capitol, and then your opponents are lined up with their cameras watching all 200 people get off the bus for your rally, and they're saying, oh, it's fake. They bust those people in. It's called astroturfing, is what the critics call it, false grassroots. So what we've done, I thought that was me. What we've done is we've applied the critics' label of astroturfing to the net roots of your organization, and we combine that to a cool name that hasn't been sued by Monsanto yet, called AstroNet Turf Roots. And it's all about using the organization you already have, applying it to your online communications, and issuing real calls to action that drive bottom-up activation from your membership, from your citizens, from your customers, on and on and on. The tenets of this apply to any kind of organization. So what are we talking about today? You guys remember him? This guy, excuse me, point this guy. We're going to talk about engagement at events year-round. We're going to talk about advocacy, getting the decision makers' attention, whether it's Governor Nixon or somebody signing a donor check, and developing relationships that respond. And we're going to talk about that through social media integration, not as much as Jess did, or not as well as Jess did, online tools, and empowering your members. What's your competition? There's a lot of conversation going on out there, no matter what the channels of if you're in the nonprofit world or the association world. 86,000 trade and professional associations across the country. Ross was here a while ago. He was here representing 4 different associations here in town, plus his business. More than 1 million philanthropic or charitable organizations. It's a lot of competition for, I'm going to pick on the first person I see, for you guys here from the V-Taker. It's a lot of competition. The good thing, we've got a big audience. We've got 313 million Americans, give or take. There's probably been a few more since I wrote this the other day. And it's more than 6 million Missourians. So we've got a big audience to try to attract attention from. So it doesn't matter if you're the doctors in the white coats holding the rally at the Capitol, or you're my grandma shaking her fist at City Hall. That's not really my grandma. I need to name her, actually. I just call her my grandma. Or you're the Tea Party guys dressed up in silly costumes behind the Gadsden flag, waving attention, or waving around about the issues that they core believe in to their soul. That they're willing to take this action and go to Washington, D.C. and act like this and get media attention, get social media attention, get attention from the audiences that they're trying to involve. And it works. Love them or hate them, it's working. Look at the makeup of the new Congress. Look at the makeup of the new legislature. Some of those people have Captain America costumes in their closets. It's working. So, I don't want to see a show of hands because I can't see them and they don't show up well in the video. So by applause, who's on a Twitter personal account? Who has a Twitter business account? I think that was the same people. How about everybody's on, clap if you're not on Facebook as a person, the personal profile. Thank you. Thank you. I actually spoke to a group of about 150 or so high school students the other week, and there was actually one high school student that wasn't on Facebook. Nope, not for me. All right, dude. Who's got a, again by applause, Facebook business page? LinkedIn personal profile. LinkedIn company profile that you actually do something with. A YouTube business account. Guys, my work's done. Good for you all. When I was a much younger, wealthier, singler man, I would go to the bars and I would talk to the young ladies in my squiring ways. And one of my opening lines was something we've heard over and over again today is, what's your story? Sometimes it looked like this, sometimes it, well, she's in the back of the room with the laser pointer on her. Anyway, what's your story? What does work when you're communicating across social media? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because everybody else has said this, but know your story. Tell your story. Don't throw me boring facts and figures. Don't try to Thomas Dolby me, blinding me with science. Thank you for laughing. Share your story. Make it emotional. You hit the heart, you're going to hit the head. And then you hit the wallet. So let's spend some time on what doesn't work. TV and radio ads are largely ignored. Direct mail is tossed and hopefully recycled. Once-a-year days at the Capitol and community days are incredibly ineffective. I'll tell you what's even more ineffective is, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody or if anybody's a t-shirt printer here, but this is what we call the t-shirt trap. And that's me there, so I can say that. And I made those t-shirts too. So, confessing my sins. The t-shirt trap doesn't work. You're at the Capitol. I'm in my suit and tie. The governor's in his suit and tie. Somebody's trying to get to make a vote, get to a meeting, get to the bathroom. And there's 4 different groups of different colored t-shirts coming at you in the hallway. And I don't know if you're the AFSME. I don't know if you're the VTAE Society. I don't know if you're the 4th grade from Fulton High School or grade school. Because everybody comes up in these big groups. I mean, that's what they call them at the Capitol, any Capitol. Here, DC, Oklahoma City, wherever, it's the t-shirt trap. So just a word of friendly advice from experience. What doesn't work? Being fake or dishonest in what the content that you're putting out there. And it doesn't matter if you're the Boys and Girls Club of the capital city, Stephanie. Excuse me. I didn't know that was that loud. I'll project my laughs. If you're claiming credit for things that you didn't do, it doesn't matter if you were the governor or newly elected state representative. If you're claiming things on social media, credit for things that you didn't do, how quickly are you going to get shot down and called out by people with large audiences? You guys remember Rick Perry? I sat and watched Rick Perry self-destruct on my TV and in the palm of my hand at the same time during the Republican presidential primary, or one of the 40 they had, one of the debates they had, when he couldn't remember which of the departments he was going to shut down. Well, as he was sitting up there fumbling around with the answer, Twitter was blowing up on my phone from media pundits, from elected officials, from Republican officials, from opposing teams, on and on and on, all saying, this guy's toast. And guess what? You got butter on him. Not listening. We've talked about this before in the previous presentations about even listening to what the people are saying. You always have to have your ears on. Breaking the rules of social media. We'll talk about some of these in a minute. But you guys know the rules, I think, that if you're aware of what you should and shouldn't do on social media as a personal profile, like Facebook, you see somebody breaking one of those unwritten rules of baseball, what's it thing to do? It's kind of cringe. I've got a friend who calls people out for breaking these unwritten rules of social media. It's kind of amusing to see her throw those grenades and have grenades tossed back at her, but anyway. Selling all the time. Don't be selling all the time. Whether you're the business, the nonprofit organization, whatever, if you're constantly talking about, I've got this event coming up, or this fundraising drive, or we're having a car sale, or church is on Sunday. If you're selling all the time, that's not your story. Is that what you're really about? Those funds help you to be able to have the stories to tell, but you're not creating an emotional connection that people want to follow on Facebook, or follow on Twitter, or watch your YouTube videos. And staying in your silos. Ben talked about this earlier. I went on greater length about this bullet point with a group of corn farmers last week who couldn't really understand why I wanted to tear down their silos. Don't stay in your silos. Share the social media responsibility like Ben talked about. You know, make sure everybody's plugged into what's being said on there because everybody's representing your company, your organization, etc. What doesn't work? Somebody told me they actually picked up one of my white papers outside of it and read it during lunch. Yes. Thank you. Find me on Facebook. This doesn't work. Who knows why? They didn't read the paper. Yes?
It doesn't say what your name is on Facebook.
That's right. What sucks on Facebook? What's the worst thing about Facebook? Besides taking pictures?
The search function.
Search function. If you're Jim's Tire, how many Jim's Tire companies are there on Facebook? I don't know the answer, but I'm sure a lot. You're probably not the only St. Mary's Health Center. The Boys and Girls Club. There are now 3 Facebook pages for the Boys and Girls Club. When you put out your complete address, facebook.com/Rocket Group, facebook.com/Mobar. Put that out there. That's make it easy for people to find you. Pop quiz. Don't answer this if you've taken this before because a couple of you have stuff. Sweet spot for post length. How long should your posts be? Somebody said this earlier. I have no prizes this time, by the way. Sorry. Right. Twitter's 140 characters. The sweet spot for it's the great sweet spot for a tweet is 80 to 100 characters. About the same really for Facebook. Don't make them lengthy. If it says read more, if you have it dipped in paragraphs, nobody's going to read that. Especially if it's just text, if there's no picture, nothing to go with it. Has anybody here ever clicked the read more that wasn't a Facebook post from your grandma? Best time and day to post.
7 or something.
Not bad.
9 p.m.
Yeah. What's that?
9 p.m.
9 p.m.? Are we just throwing things at me here? Our research of the Mid-Missouri market, we've got a slide coming up next after this one, shows that the best time and day to post is during the days of business, Monday through Friday, particularly Tuesday through Thursday, between the hours of 7:30 and 9:30 a.m. Can you come up here? You'll see a lot of studies that look at Facebook as a giant hole. And they'll show that, I believe it's Thursday. I'm drawing a blank. Is it Thursday or Friday, Jess?
For
The overall Facebook best time to post.
I do mostly industry specific, so I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, don't worry about the entire world because your message is not going out to the entire world. Does anybody commute marketing to the entire world here? Because we're going to have a. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Best driver of interaction. Easy answer. And photos and videos. 100% greater interaction on a Facebook post with a picture, and 150% more with a picture, 100% more with a video. That's what happens when you take the podium away from me. Using a personal page as a business profile. Yes or no?
No.
Heck no. Heck no. It's actually a violation of your terms of service that you read in depth when you signed up for Facebook. I believe they actually now bolded on there to remind people to not do that. How many times a day to post?
2 to 5.
2 to 5? Every day? Anybody else? Facebook actually says, I just read this week as a refresher, they're saying that 2 times a week will keep you active with the EdRec algorithm. My personal use and client use has said that's not true. That should be at least 2 to 3 times a day. So we personally, for our own use, aim for 2 times a day in that sweet spot between 7:30 and 9:30. That's why you see a lot of our morning posts. Yes?
Is this just for Facebook that you're talking about?
This is just for Facebook, yes. Facebook pop quiz. Yep. So the engaging photos, the exclusive specials, engaging questions, these type of things. This is a new graphic for Facebook they just put out this week. These are the things that are going to drive your interaction. Does anybody ever use the poll function? it's a good tool. It's a good tool. And I'll be honest here, it hasn't caught on in this market. I don't know that it's the most popular thing, but it's a good tool, but it gets some interaction going. Get those pictures going of the things that you do and the stories that you tell. Here's the study I was talking about, Jess. The last in Kansas City when we did this, Jess was one with all the questions on this. Fish where the cake is. What I did was I wanted to see when my audience, the people I was interactive with, were actually active on Facebook. And I sat and I thought about it, and this was earlier this year. I sat and thought about, like, what can I do to really, really test this? And what I did was my birthday. I don't do business with everybody that I'm Facebook friends with. Wish I could. But most people are aware of my business and what I do. So what I did was we tracked when people were saying happy birthday, Gus, all throughout the day, by hour and by geographic location. And we broke it down to show, that's where we showed that 69% of the people in the morning hours were active on Facebook enough to say happy birthday, Gus. In the afternoon hours, it slowed down again. In the evening hours, it slowed down to a smaller percentage. But this evening hours was a lot of the business people and people I actually do business with. They got time to settle down, get in front of the sofa with their phone or their tablet or their laptop or whatever, and they were able to send their best wishes. It's totally unscientific, but it's the best way I could gauge a mid-Missouri market when people were online and active on Facebook. Because we have a problem, not a problem, we have a situation that we need to get a hurdle over here in Jefferson City in particular, in Columbia to a smaller extent, is that 2 of our 3 largest employers block pages like Facebook and Twitter, etc. during business operations. So the people aren't even able to get to the channels unless they're on their device, or they're sneaking out to their car, or somebody's calling them to tell them what the latest Facebook updates are. They don't know what's going on Facebook during the day here within where we're sitting right now. So by the way, this small print here, this chart is not representative of anything but. So let's look at the audience of what we've actually got. Here in Missouri, we have 3.1 million Facebook accounts and around 380,000, give or take now, Missouri Twitter accounts. This Facebook account number is actually from yesterday. I just updated this slide yesterday. 168, just a little less than 168 million American Facebook accounts and 40 million American Twitter accounts. We have a majority of the people. If we have 6 million Missourians and more than 3 million are on Facebook, that's more than 50% of the people. We have roughly 350 million Americans, give or take, I think. That's right at 50%. The caveat to this is that in any social media profile that you establish or set up, you're not required to put your actual geographic location in. So this is actually the audience that has volunteered their geographic location. So these numbers are probably higher. Who deals with the legislature? Who wants money from the legislature? Great, clap. Clap. Don't let me see your hands. All right. In last year's assembly, the assembly is just getting ready to retire at the end of this month, 81% of the Missouri House members were active on Facebook, and 52% were active on Twitter. Show of claps, who's had a social media conversation with a rep or a senator here in Missouri? Claps. They're there, and they are hungry for interaction. I talk to them all the time about social media, different members, even city council members in various communities all across the place. They're like, oh, I put out that we're having a meeting, and people don't respond. I ask for their opinion on this issue or that issue, and they don't respond. They're hungry. And if you create a social media interaction or relationship with the senators, the representatives, or city council, the mayor, the governor, the president, whatever, not the president, he only live tweets once in a while. And they take a picture of it every time he does. And they share that picture. But if it's representative so-and-so from such and such Missouri, and you liked his Facebook post, you commented on his Facebook post, you shared his or her Facebook post, and then you go into their office, and you gently remind them of that conversation that you had, or that action you took with Facebook or Twitter or whatever, who's going to have a more open door? Who's going to have the stronger relationship? That's an audience you're trying to impact, and it's an audience that's very important here in Jefferson City and in Missouri. They're there waiting to be interacted with. So, how do you reach them, any of the audiences? We talked about different methods. Something that's working well here in Jefferson City and across Missouri for us and our clients is the sponsored story on Facebook. It's easy, affordable, and targeted. What you do is you can take a Facebook post of your good content, whether it's an event or some good news about your mission, a great photograph about your story, and you can buy a sponsored post to be able to broadcast that out. It's technically an ad, but they call it a sponsored story, so it's different. And you can target that down to different audiences by geography and interest to promote that message to people who might be interested in what you're talking about, the story that you're selling. And you do this through the Facebook ads tool, facebook.com/ads. Every page, every picture that you open up on Facebook has ads on it. And right above those ads is a link that says create an ad. It's right there. It's very, very easy to do. So, if we look at the audience here, say 50 miles within Jefferson City, there are 214,060 people within 50 miles of Jefferson City above the age of 13 on Facebook. Total Facebook audience. If we look at people who are involved or took the time to say that they like charity and causes on their Facebook profile, 21 and above, in Jefferson City and Columbia, within 50 miles, 33,000 people. Does anybody here have 33,000 supporters for their nonprofit organization?
When it says who are not already connected to God's timeline, that just means they're not your friend.
That's what that means. Yes, that's what that means, and I was using my timeline to run these sample ads, to run these ad counts. If we look at young women who live in Missouri, 13 to 21 years of age, who are expecting, or they already have parents, and are single, there's 3,230 young ladies within Jefferson City and Columbia, 50-mile radius, who volunteer that information on Facebook. So if you work for young children or single families, that kind of stuff, that's an audience that you might want to be reaching out to. If you want to reach men over the age of 40 who live in Fulton, who are conservative and like cats, there's 60 dudes on there for you. People are volunteering their information, and Facebook is mining this information and publishing it there for marketers and communicators, whether it's myself as a social media agency or a marketing firm, or your nonprofit organization. All this information is there for you to target to these kind of crazy demographics. Who saw this ad? Applause. This was the ad, we talked about Ben's Sharpie example. This was a ad that, or my wife drew this on my whiteboard, and I took a picture of it, and I thought it'd be eye-catching to market this event for today. And we set this out to certain demographics, and we blasted this out as a sponsored story during the holidays and leading up to this, because we weren't, the holidays, I wasn't going to be there manning the controls to set some things up, so I wanted a consistent message going out. We were able to get 25,000 views, plus views, for $173 over the 8 sporadic days that we ran the campaign. We increased our Facebook page likes by 43, and I had 4 calls with people wanting to do business with me because of that $170-some that I spent promoting this event that you guys are at today. I could not have sent direct mail to 25,000 people. for $173. Like I don't, at least on my email service provider, my newsletter provider, I couldn't send an email to that many people for $173. Just as light bulb went off. So have your ears open for opportunities like this, like the sponsored story, like the critical content that's going to drive the interaction. Be listening for opportunities to jump in and say, we provide this service. Or, dear governor, we do this, that, and the other. You should come by and take a tour of our facility. People are putting that information out there, and it's available for all of us to interact with, whether we do it organically or through paid methods. I talk a lot about Facebook because if I'm going to fish where the cake is in mid-Missouri, it's on Facebook. The 200-some thousand people that have active Facebook profiles, half of which go there on a daily basis. And a large percentage of that, 50%, are there for more than 41 minutes a day on Facebook, whether it's mobile or on a PC or Mac experience. People are, it's an integrated part of our lives now. But what my true love here is Twitter, the hashtag, Twitter hashtag. This is something I hope as you're live tweeting this presentation and the upcoming presentations, and if you go back and hit the social IRL hashtag on Twitter and see the comments and the interaction, the contacts of the people who are in this room, the hashtag made all that happen. My opinion, this is the greatest thing on social media because it's a tool for categorizing information about many, many conversations. If I put in the hashtag of the word hamburger, hashtag hamburger, and hit that in a tweet, it'll bring up every tweet in real-time conversation about the word hamburger. Boy, that sounds good right now. We had a hamburger for lunch. Applause. The hashtag is very critical. So that if you're always wondering what that means, when it says hashtag NBC Nightly News or hashtag burn notice in the corner of your screen on your TV, they're trying to get you to tweet about that and put that hashtag in there so you can join the conversation of like-minded individuals across Twitter who are talking about those during live, real-time conversations. So the hashtag. This was my grandpa's hashtag, by the way. He was a scale maker, so that was when he retired from the scale factory. They gave him. No, that's not true. It's from Pure One. Hashtag Pure One. So when we're doing an event like this, or you're doing an event like yours, whether it's your fundraiser, a day-long conference on children who like cats in Fulton, set up processes to live tweet during these events so the conversation that's happening here in this room spreads out across the audiences of audiences of audiences, that third tier that we talked about earlier. Get the speakers out there with your @handles, your Twitter handles, @Rocket Group, @SocialIRL, @Influence, @RaisMobile, @Raise_mobile, right? And you can pick and choose the best content right now on your Twitter stream that's being said about what's happening in this room throughout this day and interact with it. Or you can see who's here and active. Like Brett over here, he's been tweeting up, how's your thumbs, man?
Doing all right.
All right, hang in there. We're not done yet. And you can interact with him and start following Brett, start following me, start following Katie, who just sent her 4th tweet of the day, or her life, 4th tweet of her life, as she sat down here and saying she was here at the hashtag Social IRL conference. Thank you. You can take photos. You get your phone right there, boom, take a picture, boom, set it out. I've sent 6 or 7 today as this has gone on. You're in it. Watch the conversation and get involved. And something I always do is I hashtag the geographic location, hashtag JCMO, hashtag MidMo, so people know that I'm at a conference, but where's that conference at? It's in hashtag JCMO. There's a giant stack of these stickers for your laptops or your vehicles or whatever to promote that hashtag outside of the table. Feel free to take as many as you want, because I'm tired of carrying them around. But who's paying attention? Bipartisan here. International, actually. Who's paying attention to all the stuff that's going on and being said across the social media channels? Not me. We were supposed to be paying attention to the rally at the state capitol, but everybody wore t-shirts. So we decided to read our Twitter and read our Facebook on our Blackberries. That's how old this picture is. People were using Blackberries. Say my name. Say at Rocket Group. Say at Social IRL. Say hashtag JCMO. Let people know in your messages that you're talking about them. Otherwise, well, here's a quick story. I won some concert tickets from a venue in Columbia this summer. That venue might have a color in it. It might not have a color in it. But I knew I had signed up for the contest, but I didn't know when they were going to give away the tickets. And a friend of a friend of a friend saw my name on there and said, hey, Gus won some tickets. And I got a phone call, harkening back to older technologies, to tell me from the friend of a friend, the third friend, to tell me that I'd won the tickets because they saw it on Facebook during lunch. If they would have put at Gus Wagner or at whoever else won the tickets or put the picture, put something in there, then I would have known automatically. But instead they used my name in that post and I didn't know anything about it. And but somebody else did it. The circles of influence worked. I got the tickets, had a great time, it was a good show, got to go backstage, etc. Say my name. If you don't like Destiny's Child, here's Walter White. Say my name. Get your followers engaged. We've talked about the shares. This is a campaign I've been waging here lately about getting people to use the share tool on Facebook. It's right there next to the like. The like is the easiest thing you can do. Boom, I hit it, I'm done. I invested nothing in it other than touching it with my finger or hitting it with my mouse. But I put the share. If one call here makes a post about something I think is cool, or maybe they're warning people not to put shovels into the ground and slice my cable line, and I see that and say, I want to share that, and then I can add my little pithy comment. Heck yeah, don't take my cable out. I have enough problems with cable as it is. And I can share that, and it goes out to all my audience. Therefore, their message has gone on to another audience, and more people are aware of the mission. Here I'm using the example of during Hurricane Sandy, people repeatedly sharing and sharing and sharing the storm pictures. Meanwhile, an example I use, and I think you'll probably know what I'm talking about, a local business here in Jefferson City went out of business recently in the last 2 months, and they announced that closure over Facebook at about 11 o'clock in the morning. At 1 o'clock, I had a haircut appointment. In between those 2 hours, and I missed the original post, but everywhere I was in that 2-hour gap, somebody said, hey, did you hear so-and-so closed? Did you hear about that? Saw it on Facebook. Somebody messaged me on Facebook. They saw it on Facebook. People were sharing the bad news that these people had lost their business. They went out of business. And everybody's making these comments, oh, I love that place. They had great whatevers. They had great appetizers. They had great food. They had great drinks. They were friendly service. But when you were in that business, did you check in? Did you take pictures of your food? Did you share the experience that you were having? Are these people your Facebook friends or your real friends? Do you want to share? Do you want your friends to have the good experiences that you have or know what you're up to and share the good things that a business, a locally owned business, can give you? No. But when the bad news happened, they didn't have any problem sharing and tweeting and talking, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But if the last 5 years they would have been doing all of that leading up to they probably wouldn't have closed. Maybe wouldn't have closed. I'm not a banker, I don't know. What I'm saying is, if you see something valuable, if you see something important, if you see something that is not just a funny picture or a fake storm photo, share it. Share the things that you like. Do the math. Here's an algorithm for you. A share is greater than a check-in, which is greater than a comment, which is greater than a like, which is greater than nothing at all when it comes to Facebook. We had on the registration page for this event, we had social media options here through Eventbrite to email, share, tweet, and like. 23 people did. There were 70 people in this room this morning. The tools are here. The tools are here. Instead, we share things like this. 500 million people in 24 hours, half a million people, 500,000 people in 24 hours shared this fake photo of the dude with this fake Powerball ticket. I'm proud to admit that only 15 people that I'm friends with shared this picture. Although one of them was my mother-in-law. After I put up their post on Facebook saying it was fake. Anyway, so people share this information, but you didn't share. Maybe we're just greedy. We don't want our competition to know the great social media information that's being shared here today. Or we don't want to know about the good work of the Boys and Girls Club, or Missouri One Call, or the Downtown Jefferson City Association. Share these things that are going on. I have a post on my website. This actually will take you to my website, sharethenlive.com. Sharethenlive.com. Get your followers engaged. Again, don't be making everything a marketing sales pitch. 1 out of 10 is the business unwritten rule. 9 of your posts should be about your story before you put out one sales pitch on Facebook. 1 out of 10 of the U.S. news should be a sales pitch. The other 9 are you telling your story, highlighting your employees, highlighting the good people that you work with. Get your followers engaged, shares and tags. We talked about this. This is a post that was on my newsfeed yesterday. Downstream in Washington, she was sharing this picture of these little pigs from Todd Geiser Farms. She shared the picture. She added him. Do you know how to add somebody in your Facebook post? Put the ampersand and start typing in the name, and it pops up live and links back to their page. They get a notification if you talked about them, and their name is hot linked, so people can go in and start seeing their page. And in the first 4 minutes, 2 people liked that picture. That's pretty good interaction for mid-Missouri. Here's another controversial thing. In the nonprofit world, where the organizations are often asked, be it by any kind of business organization, I got a deal for you. I'll give you $500 if I can get 500 likes on my business page. If somebody likes my page, I'll give you $1 for every like. Well, sounds like a great deal, doesn't it? Except for the fact that 1, it's a violation of the terms of conduct of both your parts. 2, wouldn't you rather have 500 followers, new Facebook fans, than $500? What could you do with 500 more people in your audience on Facebook versus $500? So what I'm saying is disrupt that, turn it upside down. Make the business say, I'll give you $1 for every new like you get. And that car dealership, that bank, that whatever, that internet marketing company can press that message out there. They get goodwill. They're going to get new likes. You're going to get new followers, and you're going to get money. Turn it upside down. I have a blog post about this, likeapalooza.com. Goes to our website. The 2 most powerful words in social media are thank you. Thank you for the retweet. Thank you for the friendship, or Facebook friendship. Thank you for the support. When you're having an event like this, Ben just sent out several tweets thanking all the sponsors across social media. Those sponsored names, mine, MasterCard's, Influences, everybody's, Spiral 16, that's gone out to all of his audience. I was hoping that red dot was that tweet about the sponsors, not the puppy, but it was the puppy picture again. Anyway, thank your sponsors. Thank the people that are working for you. If somebody shows up to clean your bathroom as a volunteer, thank you, Gus Wagner, for cleaning our bathroom. I'm not really good at cleaning bathrooms, so don't ask me to do that. But thank you at them, make it a live link so they know that you're talking about them, and share that message. Train your people. Get them involved with what you're doing and what your message is being sent out. Involve them, give them something to do at all times, delegate, keep them informed, and when they're comfortable, give them the keys as much as you're comfortable with to your social media channels, with your employees, it's your volunteers, your etc. Because we don't have to do, whether it's the nonprofit organization, the business, or the government, we don't have to do all these things by ourselves. I know, Rick, sign of applause, who wants some help? Yeah. Empower your people, and you're going to get some help. The key tenet of AstroNet Turf Roots is this: an engaged, involved, informed, and trained membership will be our biggest asset. And that doesn't matter if you're the member of the Missouri Propane Association, member of the Jefferson City Chamber of Commerce, or a member as a citizen of the city of Jefferson. Involve me, engage me, inform me, delegate to me, and I'm going to be a huge asset to you. The key point is this whole message. Commit to learning how to use these tools across social media, all the social media platforms. Commit to building your audience. Because if you build your audiences, that tide will lift all the ships across mid-Missouri. And everybody will benefit from greater interactivity with brands across Facebook, Twitter, etc. Commit to staying on top of things. Commit to keep coming to conferences like this, or the cool ones in San Diego. Commit to reading the blogs. Commit to being active on Twitter. Commit to using the hashtags and the @signs and saying thank you. Just commit, and commit to committing the time it's going to take to do all those things. It's going to be a lot of time at first, but as you get comfortable and you find your voice, and you become active, and you become engaged, and you've got people behind you that are helping you to spread that message, you're going to be so much better off. You're going to have a great audience that's engaged, and you're going to have supporters and donors and active citizens and bean farmers with me. You're going to have, it's just going to be great. Promise. So that's a very short version of Astronaut to Her Fruits. Sign of applause. Who's ready to go rock them? Kathy says that's all, folks. I'm Gus Wagner. I own the Rocket Group, and I thank you for your time.